This week on the OneCast, we're joined by the Champlain Kid, Cole Harris himself, National Professional Fishing League Pro. We're going to break down his season this year and get into some juicy stuff.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's going to be a bad day.
What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the OneCast. I thought, Pete, you were going to start this off. Come on, man.
I thought about it.
Yeah, he thought about it. Appreciate you guys joining us. We got a really cool guest tonight, and we're going to be bringing him on here momentarily. But before we do that, head on over to OneCastFishing.com. Use the code TheOneCast. Get your hands on all those snagless jigs, weedless net heads, all the apparel, and the soft plastics that just came out, specifically the Nighthawk, and all the other ones, the Stingers too. Those are working really good in the wintertime season, so...
And since it's Thanksgiving that this thing is dropped,
we
currently got the holiday Black Friday,
there you go,
Cyber Monday sale going on. So save a little bit more money than usual. So.
Okay, yeah, so definitely do that. You guys are going to want to get your hands on those things. We are testing out different ways to really rig some of those soft plastics in a unique fashion. So head on over there, support OneCast Fishing. Also, head on over to where?
CarolinaWatersNC.com. You check them out. You can use the code TheOneCast. Right now, they also have their Black Friday sale going on. It's going on for the whole month of November. So you can use our code, but it's not going to give you our discount. You're going to get the Black Friday discount, but still use our code because algorithms and shit shows that you found them through us, and it helps support us, David Fuke. So make sure you use the code TheOneCast, all one word, at checkout at CarolinaWatersNC.com. From there, you can head to HobieEyewear.com. If you don't want to save money and want to pay full price, but if you want to save some coin, get you some floating frames and all that stuff, you can use the link in the description below. Just go down there and click on the Hobie Eyewear link. It'll automatically do that. They also have their Black Friday sale going on, though.
They do.
So I have to look. I think it's the more pairs you buy, the more discount you get. So it's like 20% off one, 30 off two, 50 off three, something like that. So I should have pulled it up because I probably misquoted you, and you guys will be I'll be getting yelled at. But yeah, make sure you head there, use the link, and grab you some of the Hobie Eyewear. Great glasses. We've been talking about it a ton. If you have questions, shoot us a DM, and we'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah.
And one more thing.
And then before you go on your next fishing trip, I would recommend at least 3 or 4 days beforehand. If you haven't already done so, go over to your app store, Play Store, whatever device you use. Download the Deep Dive app. Take advantage of that 7-day free trial. And then hopefully we highly recommend you purchase it for the year. But do that before your next fishing trip. If you're an experienced fisherman, it's going to have your data in there, like water levels, current. It's going to have a wind model for wave effects. And it's going to show you the hot places or places that try out. And then for your more novice anglers out there, in addition to that, it's going to have bait recommendations. And if it's a bait you've never thrown and have never thrown a whole lot, it's going to have videos in there too to help show you how to actually work that bait in the water to catch more fish.
Yeah, absolutely. That Deep Dive app has been astronomical this year, especially when it's breaking down a new body of water. But I'll tell you what, we've used it on lakes around the area, Jordan Lake, Lake Norman, Gaston, and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, it has shown me a lot more of the water that I need to be focusing on. So definitely recommend that, guys. Man, I don't think there's a lot of news in the fishing industry right now, is there? Not really.
I saw some drama the other day. I don't remember what it was about, though. So
the cheating, the guy caught cheating.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. That guy, they found that guy with the fish in the net tied to a marker buoy.
Oh my Lord!
And then,
come on,
yeah,
guys.
I guess it was like a National Weather Service or local weather service marker buoy, and they went out to do some maintenance or something like that, and they found a bag with fish, a bunch of bass.
You know what? I'll give them credit. They
tied to it, and so they waited for the guy to come get them, and then sent pictures of the guy to the tournament.
I'll give that guy credit. He tried to hide it in plain sight.
He did. I mean, yeah.
Good trade craft.
I mean,
there.
no fish traps with him. He just tied him in a big net to a marker buoy, but obviously it didn't work out too well for him.
Good.
So I don't think they caught him till after, and so the manhunt was on for that guy.
The thing is, and Cole knows exactly what we're talking about. You put a stain on your reputation in this small industry, like it's tarnished, like that reputation's gone, man. So
yeah,
good luck. Good luck getting in those Tuesday nighters, guys. Like maintain the integrity. It's a big boy sport. So
the only other piece of news was the BASS had the Elite Series angler hold their first angler input meeting now it'll be last week. It's this week today. It was I think yesterday or day before. So they got a bunch of different. They kept it kind of down low, but some of the anglers leaked it on their socials. I know Milliken was in there. They tried to pick people from all different timings in the league, for lack of a better term, not the league, but in the elite series. To give some input into payouts and how they think they can do better for the anglers moving forward. So hopefully it's not an exercise in fruition like it was with BPT. You know, they tried to have that angler alliance and it just didn't do anything. So we'll see what Bass does, but I feel like it's a little bit better run organization. So I think that they'll come out of there with some positives. Always good to have input from anglers. Cole Harris fishes in a league where they do take some input from anglers. You know, Brad and Paul, who we've had on, and the rest of the owners have an open door. You can come give some input. So excited to talk to Cole about that. Get to know a little bit more about him. So if y'all don't got anything else,
no, let's get him on here.
Yeah, because I'm just scrolling through like the fishing forums. There's actually nothing.
Yeah, they're not.
That's a good thing. It gives Cole the hour to steal the show here.
That's right.
Cole Harris, the Champlain kid in Raleigh, North Carolina. Man, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I just want to make it clear, even though it says Raleigh, we're going to say Garner just because that's, my driveway. I don't want to be associated with that. We're the Garner. Okay?
It all runs together.
All right. Garner, North Carolina. I stand corrected, everyone.
That is where the Cabela's is.
That is true.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you jumping on here with us. We've had a couple of your buddies on here that you roll with, and we'll get into that a little bit later on that concept that you guys have created, which is pretty awesome. But for everyone that's joining us, we have a lot of listeners throughout the country, and then in other countries too, which is pretty cool. So let them get to know you and who you are and how you got into this game, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on. This whole journey started, I was probably early 20s. I raced four-wheelers, up until then, and pretty much got sick of getting hurt and just stopped that cold turkey. And I say cold turkey not in a funny way, but because I had to. If I owned a race quad right now, I would probably get back into it tomorrow. I can't control myself, so I had to literally just get rid of it. That's what I ride now when I go deer hunting, but it goes out once a year, so that's my four-wheeler now. But my whole fishing story came about. I went to a weigh-in in Plattsburgh, New York, with my girlfriend, my wife now, and I really didn't know, I guess, bass fishing was a professional sport at that time. I had always fished, but in Vermont, there's not many people. So a big derby there, 20 guys. So I didn't know professional bass fishing was a thing. So we go over there. It was, an FLW tournament. And I remember, and I say this a lot to a lot of people when I tell my story, but I remember telling her, I want to do this. This is pretty sweet. And, fast forward, I forget how many years now, but, I was standing on that stage for my first, I guess, professional tournament, and it was pretty sweet how it all went down. But after I went to that weigh-in, I got kind of serious at just bass fishing in general. I started like everybody else, canoe, small boat, kayak, whatever. And I got sick of getting blown around on Champlain and having to paddle my ass off. That sucked, man. And I ended up getting into a small, aluminum boat and joining a bass fishing club as a co-angler. And I started the, I guess, the old-fashioned way. I was kind of taken under the wing by an OG bass fisherman up north. His name was Gene Gordon. And everything I know today, I credit him for it. I fished the club level. I fished the TBF stuff, and I did really well. I made the state team 6-7 years, I guess. I went to, the regionals, and I went everywhere. I went to Canada and fished, and, I did well. I was Vermont state champion, Mr. Bass. I had a good coming up, and I started fishing bigger stuff, BFLs and Toyotas and Opens and stuff like that. And I started traveling with Jeff Sprague and Jason Reyes as a co-angler. And that was probably the best thing that I ever did. I learned a lot in, 2-3 years that I traveled with those boys. Had a lot of fun too. And when FLW, the last year they were around is the year that I kind of qualified and really, really took it serious. And, that's the year MLF came out. And I had all intentions of, going full-time professional. And I ended up coming down or getting diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and it crushed my world. And it really slowed everything down for me. And I had to almost start all back over again because I had to turn down my rookie year. And so I think like 2 years later, I was at the, first tournament on the Tackle Warehouse Tour, and I've been full bore ever since. This is my, I think, 4th year full time. And I fished, this is my first year fishing the NPFL, and I fished MLF up until this point. But I've had a lot of setbacks. I've had to deal with a lot of bullshit. But honestly, as all the things that I've had to overcome and the stuff that I've kind of been screwed over with, it's made me the person I am today. And we'll talk about it later, I'm sure, but I wouldn't have started the D team without all the stuff I've had to overcome, and I wouldn't have met the people that I met and friends with the people that I'm friends with. So as hard as it has been to get to this point, I'm glad that it, all happened because, and we'll talk about this later, I'm sure, I'm not stuck in some, follow the leader. I'm not a drone like everybody else, I guess is the nicest way of putting it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my story quick.
I mean, resilient. We talk about mental resiliency all the time on this show. Everybody kind of briefs being positive or you just got to be resilient, but it's getting knocked down, and then each person has their own version of how they maneuver through that resiliency, or they don't, and they just quit or whatever. And sometimes people are just like, dude, I just can't hack it. And it's like, got it, man. Like, got to know when to call it quits. And then you got guys who are like, I'm going to grind this until I possibly can't anymore. But each person does it differently. So it's important for people to hear like, hey, dude, this hasn't came without a cost, and it hasn't came without sacrifice, but you're hunting the good stuff, right? I think that's a book or something, like, I don't know.
That's the old army.
The old army thing, right? Like hunt the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So no, it is important that you say that. When did you move down to North Carolina did you move directly from Vermont to North Carolina?
I did. All the years of me fishing, the Toyotas and all that stuff, fishing as a co-angler with Sprague, I traveled from Vermont, and I mean, we always started in January. So you never know in Vermont. You could wake up and there could be 4 feet of snow. It could be 40 below zero, and you got to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're headed to Florida or Texas or somewhere down south, and it doesn't matter the weather. You got to go and get back home. So that drive was, in the wintertime, it was awful with a boat or just in general. I mean, it was a solid 25 hours to get to Florida. And then you got to head back. Then, a couple of weeks later, you're gone again. So I had been after my wife to move, and she loved Vermont. That's her whole family's there. And one day we got a big snowstorm, and I had just said, we're not shoveling anymore. This is it. And he agreed. And the year that I, went full time, we moved to North Carolina, and I don't think either one of us will ever say that we regret it. I mean, it's probably the best thing that we've done. We have this ongoing joke of, oh shoot, it's another nice day. Bummer.
Why here? Why not Alabama, Texas, some of the other places?
Yeah. So I have family, all within probably 40 minutes of me all around. I have family in Wake Forest, and I have family in Clayton, but my uncle moved here, I don't know, 15 plus years ago. And he was always my kind of halfway stop if I was headed to a tournament. And you can't fish in the wintertime in Vermont. I mean, there's 2 feet of ice, 3 feet of ice. So,
right.
you either have a boat that's not broken in, or you're so rusty that, you kind of forget how to tie knots. And so I would always stop in Wake Forest and fish falls. And I loved falls. So I would spend a month or more there. And we were kind of just like, if we're going to move, we need to have some sort of family around. So we chose, North Carolina or this area in general.
Pete and Ben and I always talk about this. We're from different areas too. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Pete's from PA. Ben's from all over, but Bull Shoals area is your like home, I guess, if you were to call it that. But when you got down here, we always tell people, like, if you can catch a fish in North Carolina, you can catch a fish pretty much anywhere. And I think somebody said something different the other day. I think it was like, no, if you can catch a fish in Jersey, you can catch a fish anywhere. But what did you think about like North Carolina fishing? Was it very different than what you're used to? Was it harder?
So I was used to falls, and I would only go to falls like January, February, whenever I would come through. And like I said, I fell in love with it. But when we moved here, we're closer to Jordan and Harris. And I'm not kidding. Like I'll go get my wife if you don't believe me, but I came back and I was like 3 days in a row. I'm like, maybe we screwed up, because I haven't caught 3 days. And then I would go out and I'd be a rock star and catch, 25 pounds. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's why we moved here. But
that's Jordan Lake.
That's Jordan.
That's Jordan Lake.
I tell everybody this. These, Sharon Harris, Jordan, and Falls are the hardest lakes that I have ever been to try to figure out. I don't care what anybody says. Like Hooks and, all the guys around here that dominate all the time. Those boys, they have it dialed in. I don't know what they do. Yeah. They're my friends, and I've been on the boat with them, and they don't do anything different than I do, and they catch the shit out of them. And I catch shit out of them too, don't get me wrong. But I'm only going to do that 1 or 2 days, and then all of a sudden it's like I hit a wall and they disappeared. And I don't know. I can't figure them out. And everybody I know that comes to visit, they are always just scratching their head like, screw these lakes. I don't know. I can't explain it. it.
Mm-hmm. No, you're explaining it exactly.
That's why I take everybody to the Roanoke when they come in. I want to come fish North Carolina. We're going to the Roanoke River.
Yeah, 100%.
I've caught some huge fish here. Like I have. I've caught. I've caught multiple 10-pounders. I caught 11, 15, I believe, last year. Like I've caught some really big fish. But damn, these lakes are hard. They're really hard.
Yeah. I think, we're going to get, Cole mentioned it for everyone listening and watching. Like Josh Hooks is one of his roll dogs in the NPFL. We're going to get into that here in a minute, but we're going to get Josh on too. And
my roll dog.
What's my roll dog? You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
You don't know roll dogs?
No.
What?
It's some Detroit stuff there.
Oh yeah, man. So they roll together. That him, Seth, Zach. So we're gonna get Josh on. But here's what I think Josh does, and we'll have him answer this when he comes on the show. I think he's got like electric shock collars on those fish, and when because you're absolutely right. I live 10 minutes from Harris, and I watch Josh crack 21 pounds, and I'll come in with like 12, and I'm like, I'm fishing the same areas. I'm positioning the boat the exact same way. He must have a shock collar on these fish. I'm telling you.
GPS trackers, man.
GPS trackers. Check the GPS antennas.
Apple AirTag. He got Apple AirTags on or something. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. So, dude, now you're down here. You're in Garner, right?
Yep.
So, Garner, how has first of all, what drew you to the NPFL?
I have been a believer of the NPFL since the first year they came around. Mike Como, who's one of the owners, is a very good friend, I guess mentor of mine, and he had been talking about it pretty much since the day they came public, and I liked everything it was about, but my sponsors didn't, which I understand. It's new, and their interest just wasn't in that league yet. It probably still isn't. And I guess my last year with MLF, there had been some changes in the Tackle Warehouse Tour that I just didn't like. And it was just time. And I still didn't know if it was the right time, but I was just getting to the point where like, this is, this league that I'm fishing just isn't cutting it for me. And Zach's the one that actually really got me to switch. He just straight up was like, "Hey man, why does it matter where you win $100,000? You're gonna win $100,000 here, or you're gonna win $100,000 there." He's like, if that's where you want to go, just go. And he came to, and it's probably the best thing that I ever did. I have nothing bad to say about the NPFL. I tell everybody about it. I brag how there's only like 6 or 7, I think like 7 people that run the whole damn thing. I mean, I fished MLF and FLW and bass and all those, and I'm sure you guys have witnessed it or been through it. It takes forever to get all the boats in. It takes forever to get all the boats out. It's just a disorganized shit show, and no one's fault. It's just so many people involved that's just how it is. You show up to the NPFL and it's almost too fast. Like you roll up in the morning and you barely have enough time to like unstrap your boat, and next thing you know, there's a guy backing your truck in and you're bobbing in the water already. And he goes up and parks your truck, and you hang out and relax for a minute before you blast off. And then when you come back in, they either have your truck in the water waiting for you, or they send a golf cart and you go get it, and you put your boat on the trailer and you drive to check in. And it doesn't matter if you're the last flight or the first flight, you just get right up to the stage, and you have just barely enough time to get in the boat, and you're already going through the line. Like, it's just insane how fast and efficient. And
it is.
No one's really bitching or complaining. Everyone's helping each other, and it just has a really nice feel. Like you feel like you're wanted by everybody, by the anglers, by the people that work there. No one is grumpy to you or anything. Like everyone is just so nice and happy. And honestly, if you're dealing with grumpy and bitchy people all day, you're not going to want to be there yourself eventually. So it's nice to have that feel. It's a good change.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how I mean, I've fished a few opens and stuff back in the day, and like it's the most inefficient cluster you'll ever be involved in. I mean, we fished local derbies that are like 35 boats that are a cluster trying to get rolling in the morning, and you go to an NPFL event with 70, 100, whatever many they have every year, and it's so smooth. And like you said, there's like 7 people there in the morning. And I think when we went down last year, we went to Lanier, like I just started jumping in people's trucks and backing them in. Like you're there and you want to help. And I'm like, so, we know Corbishley. So I jumped in his truck, and then somebody saw me back him down there like, hey, can you get me? So next thing you know, you're shuffling everybody to the water. But you just get that feeling when you go to observe that, like everybody from the fans to the anglers to like everybody's wanted to be there. Yeah. Not only do they want to be there, but the league wants them there for more than just their money.
Absolutely. That's the whole feel, is like you're not there. You don't feel like you're just, I guess a paycheck to somebody. And the biggest thing that everybody I think notices is that in a angler meeting, an in-person one, usually with 100+ guys, there's a bunch of dudes just chit chatting in the background, or it's noisy, and the tournament director or whatever is, doing the best he can to speak up. Man, no one says a word when Brad talks. Like, he just has the most, like, the respect out of everybody. Everyone is listening to everything he has to say. And if they don't, he lets you know it. And I like that. Like, no one messes around with Brad. And it's, it's nice that, like, we know that he's in control and he has our back. And, like I said, it's a very good change for sure.
Yeah, man.
Talking about that efficiency, what I really like about the NPFL, at least, at the weigh-ins, is that, that trailer weigh-in.
Yes.
One as an observer, or, being down there as a fan, but it's got to be the same way for you. Like there's a little pageantry involved with it, because you get a ride up in your boat, and you're taking your fish out right there in front of everyone, not just standing in the line backstage. And it gets your sponsors obviously get more visibility. It's going to be more exciting to go through that trailer with it and, standing in the line for 45 minutes, an hour, or how long it takes.
Absolutely. I was talking about this to, I think, Zach or somebody the other day, and I was saying how like the tournament bass fishing has lost its race, like show off your boat truck feel. I remember when I was coming up through like Bassmasters, it would show like 6-7 boats running through the lake with a helicopter chasing them.
Yeah.
Like
the
that's
ESPN
why
glory days.
I mean, honestly, like, yeah, the fishing part is what I do, but like that part right there is the most badass thing ever. And so when you get to bring your truck and boat in front of everyone, like I'm a car person or truck guy, whatever. And most of us are really, it shows off our ride. Like we're proud of our truck and our boat. And if no one ever gets to see it, what the heck's the point of having a aftermarket, truck part sponsor or a boat sponsor if no one's ever seeing the boat or the truck or any of that. So I think that's a huge deal. And I can't believe it hasn't, caught on to the other leagues after this whole week.
I think one of the things that hurt it was all the live coverage. I mean, you're talking about those old bass events. That was a production. You got a little bit of live coverage. You had Tommy and them guys in the studio. They would show a little bit in the morning, and then they would just film stuff, and they would put together short segments, right? And they would tell a story leading up to weigh-in, and then they leave you in the suspense of weigh-in, and everybody's waiting, and you get to see them in their boats and the jerk. And now exactly what's going on. Weigh tracker, even though they shut that stuff off, like you have a pretty good idea that when they shut it off at 1:30, if Kevin Van Dam was fishing and he had 27 pounds, there wasn't anybody catching him that day. Like it took some of that pageantry and that excitement out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that was where that whole race, and I think that's where a lot of those non-endemics started to fall off. Obviously the economy was part of that. We went through some economic downturns and stuff, but you lost that pageantry. I mean, because you look at the old Shell had a team. Like they had a giant truck that they put everybody's boats in. They shipped them down to the lake for them. The guys drove their trucks there, met their boat. It was like a race team.
You can still go on YouTube now, and it's probably only been 7 or 8 years. And I don't know if Bassmaster still does this, but each day was like a 45 minute or an hour long episode that aired. Or maybe
the Bassmaster.
Yeah, it covered 2 days. And everyone could probably go online or see the updates even 15 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but certainly 7 or 8. But when there wasn't much live coverage, you could sit down and watch it. It was more action packed. Like there was a lot less. There
was music in the background.
You weren't just staring at dudes for the most part, not catching, right?
Yeah.
You're seeing the catches in the commentary.
Yeah.
That's I wish some of the organizations just bring that back, like have your daily wrap up that's an hour long. I bet it would do well.
Well, that's that. We are huge fans, Cole, of the NPFL since its inception. We've developed really good relationships, and you're spot on when it comes to the first time we ever met Brad. It was like, dude, come check this out. Come check how we produce all this stuff, how we operate. Like it was like, you're a podcast, do a waiver, jump in the boat with the anglers, do a media ride around. Like I was like, holy cow. You're not getting this anywhere else, right? And to me, I mean, I didn't grow up watching bass fishing. I mean, I grew up watching Kevin Van Dam's face be plastered all over Kalamazoo, Michigan, but I didn't really get into it until 2015 timeframe. So relatively new, but the NPFL to me feels like the old FLW to an extent, right? That it's just very like nostalgic, man.
Yeah. What's your take on that? Because you were around the guys as a co-angler, right?
Outside of the co-angler side,
until you said that, I never thought of it that way. But you're right; it has that old FLW family feel.
Yeah.
I remember when I would, was a co-angler, traveling with those boys. People would have their kids in the boat with them, or their wives would be with them. Or whatever. And it had that family, I shouldn't say like club feel, but it had that like tight niche feel about it. And I don't know what changed, but it's not like that anymore. Yeah. And that's I think that the NPFL is a lot like that, but better.
Yeah. Brad describes it very well, and it's all about culture, right? Like creating a culture. We talk about it on this show all the time, and they've created that. So enough stroking the NPFL on this one, because I give Brad and we give Brad and the NPFL all the credit. Your rookie season this year, we're not talking tournament standings here, but what did you think? What have your thoughts been on the way that the tournaments are spread out, how your rookie season's going, and what are you looking forward to?
You got one more event left
for this next event. Yeah.
Yeah. Coming into this season, obviously I was excited. I wasn't quite sure how I felt about how much space was in between each tournament. I had never had time off like that. And to be honest with you, I don't really like it. It's too much time in between each tournament. When I'm home, I don't fish a lot. I'm pretty busy. And so I feel like I'm kind of not rusty when I go back out, but I just kind of off of my game. So I would like it to be, closer together. The schedule wasn't like, I'm not talking bad about the schedule, but the times of the year made it tough. I feel like there was a lot of junk fishing and makes tournaments tough, when you're there at the wrong time of the year. Like some of those, most of those tournaments that I didn't do well in, it was just because I didn't catch, that keeper size fish. And it's just because of the time of the year that we were there. And if we were there when the fishing was good, it wouldn't have been like that. So it's almost like you're relearning how to fish because you're fishing out of season, if that makes any sense. Like it's not our typical bass fishing season.
Well, we've talked about this a lot. We've talked about with other NPFL anglers, and some people have different takes on the schedule. I can certainly understand that from an angler perspective. Like you want to go there when the fishing's good, when you can trust those seasonal patterns. Now, as a consumer and as an observer, I love it because if a lot of these lakes are my bucket list lakes, and the likelihood of me able to go to one of those at the prime time is very small. And so it's nice to see you guys go out there and struggle and find some things out that I can watch coverage later and, and hopefully put that to use. But certainly as an angler, I can understand like some of those were a grind. I mean,
dude, those are grinders.
We would sit at the house, the four of us, and we're all four of us are good fishermen. Josh is damn good. Zach is damn good. Seth is freaking awesome. Like I can fish, and there have been moments.
Let's just easy with Seth. I don't want to. If his head gets any bigger, he won't be able to walk in.
Seth is going to listen to this too, so we're going to talk some smack.
No, it's all good.
We love him. Keep going.
No, we would sit on the couch, all of us, and just be like, we've said this multiple times. Like, damn, I hope I just catch one tomorrow.
Yeah.
And like we were serious, like I hope I catch a keeper fish tomorrow. And I don't think that myself and Zach have ever said that. I mean, that's tough. That's real tough.
Do you think that's good though, to separate you from all the other leagues where you're not fishing these, I don't want to say layup tournaments, but you're fishing different times of year, different bodies of water. Do you feel like it's testing you a little more?
I like the challenge. The only two problems I see are the people that are from there are going to dominate.
Sure.
Where if you go there at a, knock it out of the park type of deal, anybody kind of has a chance. And a lot of times those hometown dudes don't really do well because there's a lot of pressure on them. But when you get there at an off season, like they already have X amount of stuff that they're going to go run, where we're all just like, what do we do? The other thing that is kind of, has people thinking is that like, these off seasons and these small bags aren't really going to interest as many people that are watching. When guys see like, 20 something dudes zeroed today, they may not want to watch the tournament. But if, everybody is catching these giant bags, they're going to be like, well, damn, we better tune into this.
And I'm typically that guy, but for me, with the NPFL, because it is a different time of year and a different body of water, it does interest me. But I see to the masses, like I never thought about it that way. That makes a lot of sense. But I feel like the league made a decision this year that's going to make that difference with some technology not being allowed.
Absolutely.
And I think you're going to pull people that maybe beforehand might have had that mentality, but now they're like, man, I don't have to quote unquote watch a guy stare at a screen all day.
And I just pulled up the schedule for next year. It's not quite that bad because like starting in Santee in March, like that, I mean, that can be a slugfest even in early March, you know,
that could be crazy or it could be bad.
Terrible.
I mean, if it stays as warm and it has been being, I mean, they may be done spawning in January.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Cole and his wife from Vermont are like, another nice day. It's like mid-November and it's like 62.
And I'm like, can it get cold already? I'm trying to shoot a deer.
Yeah, that's right.
So you got, I mean, those are all valid points. And we talked about you have one more tournament left, and then I wanted to actually get into what Pete was talking about. But what are you looking forward to? So first and foremost, do you have any experience on Lake Murray whatsoever?
No, I've never been there.
Okay. So what do you, I mean, are you looking
before, do you have a boat?
Oh yeah. Do you?
Yeah. It's right there in the back. See, it's pink. It's that pink one.
Oh yeah. That'll do her.
That's what I'm running right now.
Now, if you guys have not seen Cole's unfortunate incident, it's all over social media, and I'm gonna go on one of my soapboxes right now and say if you're one of those people that are just running their mouths because you think you know better,
come on,
come on with
keep running it because Cole loves the engagement, and I like to sit here and laugh at your stupidity. So keep doing it. Keep being internet tough guys. But yeah, that was one question I wanted to ask, and this seems since it is, right coming up quick. Have you got something worked out?
I don't have a boat. I'm going to probably borrow a boat from Matt Mollahan. But no, I don't have a boat right now. I don't have an insurance check. I don't have a date. I don't have anything. So it's been fun.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
So, well, I mean, we're on the topic before we get into Murray. What happened to your boat coming back from Lake of the Ozarks?
Well, I would love to tell the story.
Tell it.
Yeah, please do. Let's get it all out there because the video apparently people can't see with their own eyes. So.
Yeah. Back in March and April, I was complaining about the tongue bending. It was bent up. It had some play in it in the joint of the swing, I guess, the tongue. I sent pictures and videos and everything to Blazer and Marine Master. And Marine Master emailed me back or texted me back, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to quote them on this. My concerns are noted, but it's fine.
Watch the video.
G2G, bud.
Yeah. And so I went back and forth with them a little bit, saying how, there's no way that this is okay. I can grab the tongue and lift it up and down in that joint 4 or 5 inches. So they told me it was fine over and over. And so I said, okay, let's run it. And 6-7 months later, it passed me about 50 miles an hour into the woods and hit a bunch of trees. And it's gone.
and somebody commented, your Blazer is in the shape of an icon now. So.
Yeah, it was definitely in the shape of an icon. It took 2 wreckers to get it out.
Wow.
I mean, it hit the trees hard enough to where it blew the trolling motor off the front of the boat. Both fuel tanks came loose. The water that was in the live well was somehow all over the floor. It was bad. It was in bad shape. And what makes it scary is I had just left the tournament. The next corner, if you watch the video, you see it go off at a corner, but the next corner where I could literally see with my eyes was our Airbnb. It would have went through the front door. And if it didn't break there, I was leaving to head back to North Carolina at 1:30 in the morning. And it would have happened on the interstate.
Yeah.
And that would have been really bad.
Yeah.
Those pine trees were divine intervention. You know what I'm saying? It
couldn't have happened in a better place.
Yeah, for sure. What were you able to salvage at least all your tackle and stuff like that out of the boat?
Yeah, I got all my tackle out. Thankfully, Zach was like behind me. He saw it happen. So him and the rest of the boys, we just went to town, taking everything out of the boat. We salvaged as much as we could, but like 90% of, 99% of the boat and everything on it was just, beyond smash. It cracked. It cracked one graph and it completely destroyed another one just from impact. Like nothing fell on the boat or anything like that.
Wow.
As shitty as it is and was, thank God it happened where it did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
no kidding. Did it do anything to your truck? Did it hit your aftermarket bumper?
Yeah, it hit my truck. It hit the back, and when it hit the back of the truck, the chains that I didn't have connected from all those comments, it swung the whole truck kind of sideways and dragged it for a little bit and put the front bumper up on top of a stump. So it hit the back and the front. To be honest with you, I was more mad about my truck than anything because the boat's one thing, but my truck is, I love that damn thing. So, but like I said, we're lucky that it happened where it did.
For all the commenters on Cole's social media that ask why cameras are running because it seems suspicious, these guys have to have cameras running when they're fishing an NPFL tournament, right? It's a checks and balances thing. A lot of guys don't turn their cameras off when they put the boat on the trailer and they roll out. So just for everybody out there thinking like, oh, it was staged. And listen, I've left my GoPro running on my boat the entire time from the house to the lake.
I drove to Pennsylvania
hours.
with mine.
Yeah. I mean, so it happens, right? So, but the comments are awesome. We love reading them. And the video is getting so much exposure, but we are really happy that nobody was hurt.
And I'll get you some NDT, which stands for non-destructive testing equipment, so you can test all of your welds on your next boat.
Yeah,
because apparently that was the issue according to one fine commenter.
Yeah.
Every time I leave the house, I'm supposed to just spend 4 days, I guess, looking at my trailer.
I think I walked to my trailer, I kicked the tires, and I'm like, yep, she's good. And I roll on the road. Like, the people are wild, man. And if you look at your trailer for 2 days every time we're going to trip, good for you, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Murray.
So Murray, man, what are you looking forward to with Murray?
Purposely, I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
We're going there I'm hoping it cools down, but we're going there at I guess either a transition or, cooler type of fishing. So I don't want to put too much effort into like researching or times a year because we all know how it is out here. It could be cold or it could be hot. So I just want to show up with the boat that I don't have and just run around the shoreline and try to find the best spot to fish.
You should just put the tongue on your boat and drive down there with it and take a video. Just the tongue, like
no doubt.
I mean, that's probably going to work out better for you because obviously we can't talk about it, but like there's lots of information on Murray and public information and tournaments and stuff from going years back, but it's never in December.
No.
So like it would just have to be some.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is there's some good places to eat. There's some good.
Yeah, we can give you some good places.
Yeah, it's good places to eat and stuff, man. It's a great area. So quick question: do you like the shallow water fishing, or are you a deep fishing guy, or do you like it all?
Well, being from Champlain and up north, I mean, I like the shallow water fish. I'm kind of known to be like a grass fisherman. I like to fish a jig. But then again, you also have to know how to fish deep because, you're catching smallmouth in 40, 50 feet of water. So I like to fish shallow. I'm pretty good at fishing deep. And until I moved here, I really didn't mess around with anything in between. But, I'm kind of all around. But if you put me into some shallow grass, better hang on to your ass.
What's that big bay on Champlain that's got most of the largemouth in it?
Well, there's everybody talks about Ticonderoga, but the inland sea and the
that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
the northern end, like Missisquoi, is very underrated for a largemouth. I used to run away from Ticonderoga when we had tournaments out of there
because it gets so probably jam packed down there and stuff.
Yeah. No, I think it's just overrated. I think guys feel like they have to go there to catch largemouth, and I very rarely ever did that. You know,
Well, good to know, because it's a bucket list lake of mine. So I'll just be
Oh,
giving
yeah.
you a phone call when I go. The reason I asked you about your style of fishing is because I want to introduce the household and get into the
Yeah.
D team.
The D team.
The D team, man. So you're in a house, and introduce them here in a second, with very diverse skill sets of all the 4 anglers in your house. So talk to us about the D team and who your roll dogs are.
Absolutely. So it's kind of a long story, but my rookie year, I kind of was bent over the coals by Guggen. They owed me a bunch of money, and I don't care what anybody has to say, but
I'll say I'm shocked.
It affected my rookie season. You know, when it's already your rookie season, but now you got to worry about, you know, chasing money too. Like, you know what? It's just not anything anybody wants to do. It's a long story. They threatened me with a lawyer, and basically I showed them one up, and they got scared and paid me. Long story short. I mean, it screwed up my rookie year, man. Like, you're already nervous being out there. Now you got to deal with chasing money. It sucked. So basically, you know, I made it right. Got paid. My second year, I got screwed by hook. And that video is on my social media, and that's a big video that's out there. They tried to pull a fast one on me, and I wasn't having it. There's been some other deals that have gone south. And Zach, oddly enough, Zach involved with the Guggen deal, and, you know, another deal that I was involved in. And both of us were pretty much sick of it. And we're a lot alike. I speak my mind a lot more than him. He'll sit back and kind of just, you know, watch and listen and speak when it's time. But I'll tell you how it is right off the bat. And so he stayed at my house for 4th of July this year. And
that's Zach Burge he's talking about, folks.
Yeah. We were just shooting the shit, and we came up with, you know, hey man, let's make this video for 4th of July. And it started there, and it was basically like your all American redneck, you know, who you dream about being type of people. And it killed it. Everybody loved it. It blew up on social media, and we never slowed down. And so I basically started making these videos with Zach. And when we started rolling with Josh and Seth, they're not exactly the same mindset as us. I love those boys, but they're quiet and reserved, and this is their first time fishing big tournaments. And so they, you know, they're just like everybody else. They thought, like, this is how you have to be, and you got to dress like that guy and talk like that guy, and you know the whole deal. It's just a bunch of, like I call them, I guess, like drones. So everybody does the same thing. And once they started hanging out with us, they started getting in our videos, and I mean, like I wrote this the other day. You know, like I literally put together a crew of dudes that are just sick of playing follow the leader, and we're sick of being drones. And we're tired of this whole expectation that you have to look and talk and act and be this fake professional person. Like, you know, let's be real. We're all just fishermen. We're all the same people. Why do we have to pretend to look like, you know, all the other dudes? It's just not how, you know, we have to relate to everybody else. Like, that's not how we all dress. That's not how we all act. And we're just pretty much sick of all that crap. And we're sick of certain people and company in the fishing industry that feel the need or think it's okay to just, you know, use us and spit us out when the next young kid comes out and you can offer them a couple of free shirts or some fishing rods. And we're just sick of all that shit. And so, it might sound kind of big-headed of me, but the D team's the future of tournament bass fishing. And mark my words, we're going to change bass fishing for the better. And it's not my opinion at all. It's literally the hundreds and hundreds of people that have come up to all of us, all 4 of us, and said, you know, don't stop making these videos. I signed an autograph at Costco, not because I'm Cole Harris or the Champlain Kid, because I am in the D team. And we've only been doing this since 4th of July. Zach said that when he was at ICAST, he couldn't even count how many people were like, you guys have to start a YouTube channel. Like
I was crying with that first video.
A very important person at Bassmaster wrote me on Instagram and said, these aren't the videos we want, they're the videos we need. And I really think that like it's going to just come full circle, and it's just showing like everybody that like we're not all the same, like there's normal people out there, and we're all having fun, like at the end of practice or even during practice or in the tournament, like we have fun, we joke around. Everybody thinks we're drunk. I mean, we're just, I mean, we have some drinks. I don't really drink that much. And like every time we see someone, they're talking about how, the whiskey got you guys last night or whatever. And we just laugh because we're not drunk. We're just having a good time, and we're being who we are. And I know that Zach and I, we would never have done that in MLF. That's just not what you do. We're having a time being ourselves in the NPFL, and everybody that we've talked to likes it. Like they want us to keep going.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, like that goes back to like the hustle of this business, right? Like you got to build an individual brand at the same time representing the organization you're fishing with, not necessarily fishing for. And using their platform to build your individual brand. And what a better way to do it than just be yourself.
Yeah.
And
that's
have
all we're
fun
doing
while you're doing it. Yeah.
All we're doing is just being ourselves. We're not faking anything. We're not doing it to be social media stars. We're just videoing us in our own element. And it would probably be a hell of a lot better if we just had someone tagging along, videoing everything we did. But like, I'm videoing and I'm editing and I'm doing like coming up with all this stuff or whatever. So like, I hope one day we can have that opportunity to have a cameraman, I guess. But I mean, right now, for just filming stuff on my phone, I think it's going pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
One of our videos got 300,000, and just for winging it, that's pretty freaking awesome.
How did you? So Cole described Zach Burgeon himself, and then you described Josh Hooks and Seth Ellis. How do you get Seth to break out of his Andy Griffith, Mayberry understanding of technology shell?
Come on, man.
We didn't break him out of that. Let's just be clear. We didn't break him out of the technology shell. Okay.
Okay.
Seth was a surprise. We were.
His mom said the same.
His mom.
We were filming a little skit. Actually, it was the skit with Zach as the co-angler. I don't know if you guys watched that.
Yep.
So we filmed that, and that night, that was when the tornado came through, and we didn't have power, and so we were just sitting there in the dark, and all of a sudden, Seth came out with my costume from 4th of July on, which is my wife's shorts. And he had no shirt on and a wig, and he was like rubbing his belly button. And I said, dude, you might be just kidding right now, but you just found, your alter ego or your costume for the D team. And he never turned back. Like he wears a grill now made out of aluminum foil. Like he came up with his name. Like, his name is Levin Hunted. And he came up with that whole thing. Like that had nothing to do with any of us. He literally came up with all of that himself, and he rocks it. And Josh is himself. Like Josh is literally Josh in the video. Like how you see Josh in the D team videos is how he is in real life. He sits there and he's like, these freaking idiots. And I told him, I'm like, dude, that's your part in the D team. Like, just be that guy. And every time you see
just
Josh,
judge us.
Yeah, every time you see him in our videos, he's like,
Does Josh own anything other than t-shirts?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think I've ever seen him in anything but a t-shirt.
Josh, like I don't care. Like I'm known to just be like, I just don't freaking care. That's my whole mentality is like, this is me. If you don't like it, keep walking. Josh doesn't fucking care.
About anything.
Josh shows up. He doesn't want sponsors. He doesn't want to be famous. He doesn't care to talk to anybody. He wants to show up. He wants to catch fish. He wants to cash his check, and he wants to go home, and he wants to go back to work on Monday. And that's amazing to me because he's the only person that I know that's like that. And he has zero stress. The dude, he could stay up till 2:00 in the morning and he'll be up at 4 and he's ready to rock and roll. And he just never skipped a beat. And he doesn't get excited or nervous or he's the dude that like everyone wants to be in real, like all of us want to be Josh. Like we just want to show up and kick ass and go home. That's it.
Yep. And he does that. That's why I don't fish when he fishes.
Quit fishing the trails he fish.
Stop fishing Harris, Josh. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's awesome. So what's the D? Is it just you picked the D team or is it an acronym? Like,
we're not quite the A team.
No.
And we're definitely not the B team, but we were the D team.
When
we first started, I was D Wayne and Zach was Russ D. And we've kind of lost touch with our nicknames, but that is also, those were just our funny names for the 4th of July. And so like, we just had the D team.
Yeah.
It just stuck, man. It just stuck.
Dude, it's such an awesome concept. I think it brings so much color to an industry that has been riddled with a lot of negativity, right? So much positivity is going around too. It's just never talked about. But you see these young kids and stuff and they're so, I don't know the word to phrase it when you meet them at like the show.
They're already drones.
They're like, just like Cole said, they're drones.
They're right in line.
Yep. They're like,
sheep, whatever you want to call them.
Yep. Everyone's got to have the same haircut, got to wear the same pants, got to wear the same shoes, right? All this stuff. And it's just like, talk the same way. And I'm like, man, where's the character? Where are the individuals at here? Yep. And so it's a breath of fresh air is basically what I'm saying. The only other D team that I met was at a strip club in Clarksville, Tennessee on a Tuesday night. I was like, that's the real D team. You know what I mean? My wife doesn't listen to this, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no comment.
But no, that's awesome.
So wait, this is the D team. Okay. When we were at Lake of the Ozarks and this footage hasn't been put out yet. And there's a lot of footage that I have that hasn't been put out because we're going to do a YouTube channel and I'm just like piling everything. But this is the D team. The D team and Watson, we crashed a local derby, like a Bass Nation derby. We just showed up. We were in
costume.
In costume.
That's awesome.
Watson was dressed like an old lady with curlers and we had just found a dead squirrel in the park. And we got Seth to weigh it in front of everyone. Seth went through line, he got on stage, they introduced him, and the poor little kid that was on the mic said, apparently we have a squirrel mouth being weighed in. And they weighed it in.
Wait, did he introduce him as Levin Hunnit?
Yes.
This is like what's the show? The prank show with Sasha Caron Barrett.
I don't know which one. There's a bunch of pranks.
This is
you guys know what I'm talking about. Like there's
I know what you're
like bad grandpa type.
Yeah.
My goodness. We got a squirrel mouth.
Yeah, we got Seth to weigh it in. They weigh everything. They weighed it in. I mean, I have it all in video. And then it was weighed in a Bush peach box.
Yep.
and no one had seen what was in the box yet. They just knew it was a squirrel mouth, and he grabbed it by the tail in front of everyone and lifted it up. And in the video, you can hear everybody clapping, and Steph is stoked. Like, he is just, yeah!
With
It's
his
going to be
grill in?
amazing. And that's the deep. We're just having fun, man. We drove around town looking for bass fishermen in the tournament that were fishing close to shore, and I had a chrome spray painted microphone with like 100-foot cord on it, and Zach was following me, and I would run from the truck to the shoreline and be like, hey, are you guys in the tournament? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd say, how are you doing? Do you have a limit? And they'd go, nope. And I would literally just turn around and say, well, you're wasting our time then. And we'd take off and run back to the truck. And we did that for like 2 hours. We went down to the boat launch with like numbers, and we were rating people's backing up skills after the tournament. We actually had to stop that because they were getting a little pissy. But I mean, like, I have all this footage, and I can't wait to share it with everybody.
I can't wait to see it.
That's the D team. Like, it's stuff that like you guys would just be like, oh man, that'd be hilarious if we just went and did this.
That's a whole series right there. It is. Just go bomb in these local club and little regional tournaments and do it.
I support putting it on YouTube, but man, I could see that being on like a late night, show or something on a Saturday night, dude. Some sort of TV series.
That reminds me of a skit from like the Red Green Show. Did you guys ever watch that?
I haven't. It's like Jackass to me, dude. That's I'm thinking of Jackass, like the D team is like Jackass 3.0 or whatever. But dude, that's super awesome. I'm glad that Seth is doing that too, because he is so Andy Griffith, but he's got his own personality now. Does Josh ever just sit back and like shake his head like, these dummies?
Oh no, every time. Every time. Are you for real? Like, every single time we just look over at Josh, and you mean just watch our videos, and he's in every video he's just like
he's like,
I mean, Josh's part is very small.
Yeah.
But it's like the most important. It's almost like he's the dad of the group.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's serious Sam over there. You know what I mean? That's awesome, dude. So what is the future look like for next year? Is it going to be all four of you guys rolling together?
I hope so, man. Josh and Seth, it just depends on their bankroll. Sponsors aren't easy, and they're getting harder every year. And that's another reason why I really got them in these videos with me, because I've had sponsorship offers because of my videos, and I love those boys and I'll help them do anything. So I put them in some of these videos hoping that, they could use that to their benefit. So I hope it helps them. I really want them to travel with us next year. Like, this has been the most fun that we've ever had. But I don't know. I know that I am, and I know that Zach is. I think Watson is. So if they don't, it's going to be wild either way. But I actually just sent you a picture of the squirrel being weighed in. If you want to check it out, that's a sneak peek.
Oh my Lord.
This is for our eyes only.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Until the footage comes out.
And when Cole releases the footage, we'll have to.
It was at a Bush Light box.
Yeah, Bush Light
He
peach.
said the Bush Light peach, man.
Oh.
Those are the same boxes that we went to the grocery store and they were on sale. They were selling for like $5.99 a box, and we bought the whole pallet. And
Watson was unloading it with his Bobcat or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. I mean, it'll still be the D team if those guys don't roll with you, but I'm sure there's a way to keep them involved. You know what I'm saying? So
they're in the D team no matter what. Sprague's in the D team. Watson's in the D team. He may not know it, but we made videos with him. So he's a D team member. So there's more than four of us, and honestly, there's really no limit. We're just going to keep having fun. And if you fit the mold, then, welcome to the D team. But
shit, we're going to have to turn that into the double D team. You know what I mean? Like, spread the wealth around the country. This thing's going global.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, it's a great concept. People want to they want to feel connected. They want to be a part of something. You see that with other anglers and obviously a lot of people across the world. But, Matt Robertson, he did his thing, and he was pretty successful at it. And then, they had that thing kind of peter off. I think they were doing like the Derby Boys thing and stuff like that. But
we're going to call them out. We're calling.
Are you?
No, they're still doing it. Yeah, they're doing.
We're calling the D team's going to call out the Derby Boys.
Okay,
I can't wait.
And we're going to have a fish off, but it's not going to get boats. So it's going to be legit. They don't know it yet, and it's coming, but it should be interesting.
Well, they're going to know it in about a week because you just said it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're going to have an official call-out video, but it's coming.
Okay. Hey, I'll tell you what. We'll get
Derby Boys.
Hey, get ready, Derby Boys. We're going to get the OneCast involved in that. We might have to be like arbitrators and mediators. That way there's no – hey, you know what? We always said this, not for the Derby Boys and the D team, but, man – you guys should totally set up an octagon and just hash it out with some people. You know what I mean? Like, we all know that people get frustrated and stuff. How cool would it be to see like Seth Ellis in the ring with, I don't know. I'm not going to throw another name out there, but somebody not 6'1,000 feet tall. You know what I mean? Like, he would throw them around like.
Can you imagine like Seth and Patrick Waters in an octagon?
Yeah, that'd be a funny one, dude.
Yeah,
dad shorts and stuff. But that'd be an interesting one, dude. So.
We're going to have a fishing derby with the NPFL crew. We've talked about it. It hasn't lined up.
Yeah.
We're going to have 4 of them and us 4. And I think we're going to have it all on the same boat. All 8 of us are going to be on one boat. And the catch is that we have to pick their baits and they have to pick our baits. Just one.
Okay.
And honestly, the first person to catch a fish is going to win, but I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
That'll be awesome.
Like a 15-foot John boat.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. 100%.
Or a canoe.
Might need 2.
Just 2 of them side by side.
Yeah, you might need 2 canoes like duct taped together.
I'm going to bring a T-shirt launcher out there and fill it with Busch Light Peach and just shoot them at you guys, right? So you can catch. Oh, that's littering, and we won't air that, but whatever. But yeah, man, that'd be a really cool concept.
I just thought they need a banana boat.
A banana boat.
Like the basketball players. Like they did Miami.
Well, let's stop leaking these ideas.
Yeah.
No, it's
yeah.
good.
So
you saw the Nana rig video, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
That was a good one.
Are you so this is what you're just like sitting around coming up with ideas, right?
No, we literally are we're just sitting there and we're like, let's make a video tonight, and it just happens. That Nana rig video, the video of Zach practicing in the shower with the fishing reel, those are all one take. Like, this is the idea. Let's just see what happens. And it is, those are the best ones. I mean, I used 7 bottles of shampoo for that Nana rig in the tub. And there was about a foot of water on that bathroom floor when it was over. That was a good one. That was a good time.
Airbnb loves them.
They do.
Yep.
Well, you guys are going to be down for this next derby. You're going to be staying with Mullahan, right?
That's right. Yes. Yep.
So are we going to be expecting some videos to come out from that deal?
Oh, definitely. Especially with him there, like Mullahan. He's just like we are. So there should be some good stuff going on, at Murray.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing it. I think you might see a couple of our faces down there.
I hope so. I hope we can all get on and, in our costumes, I guess. And just, I mean, when we're all together, we don't really hold back. So, I mean, I'll give you a scenario. Last tournament, Walters invited us over to have a couple drinks. And we never told him yes or no. He invited us over, and about an hour later, we were at his front door
in costume.
And, we had a good time. And when we left, I attempted to steal Corbusley's boat because he was out of town, and his nothing was attached to it. It was just literally sitting there.
Yeah.
As I was lowering it onto, the back of the truck, I thought about, like, he's going to show up tomorrow, last day of practice, and his boat's going to be gone. He's going to lose his mind. So I better not do that. But I regret not taking it. But, like, we're always just having fun, man. That's all we're about.
I actually would have loved.
I would have
loved to have seen that.
Like, you don't
I'd pay money for it.
Yeah, just take the boat wrap off his boat. I got so many ideas, dude. I love to prank people. It's just one of the things I do. I actually prank somebody tonight and they don't even know about it. So we'll figure it out after the show. But dude, do us a favor, because we're gonna bring you back on, dude. Like this is not the only time. Who's been supporting you the most, and throw them out there where they can find them, and then obviously all your socials.
Yeah, no, I've done this for quite a few years, and RT Stearns is a fire pump company. They have been with me since like the day I bought my first boat. Pretty awesome that they've done that. So huge shout out to those guys. Arc, picked me up. I left Favorite after like 7 years. I could just tell something just wasn't vibing anymore. So I left them and Arc picked me up, and I'm very thankful for that. I love Arc. I love Louie. Whitewater Fishing, they picked me up after Hook bent me over. I got to thank my family. I got to thank, I wouldn't be able to do this without any of them at all. My parents, my in-laws, my wife, everybody. This isn't just a one-man deal. It's everybody they have to be involved. I got Hayabusa hooks. We're going to take Blazer boats off of this list. Just basically everybody that's helped me get to this point. Sprague, yep. Zach, the guy that helped me do this, Gene Gordon. It's all those people are very important to me. Sponsors are important, but the people that help me get here, they mean the most.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Where can everybody find you guys find you on social? Yeah.
I'm the Champlain Kid. Always will be. Hook didn't like that name. They thought it was hard to find, but you know what? Fuck them. Here I am. So it's the Champlain Kid, and it always will be, man.
Awesome, man. Well, we look forward to seeing more content from the D team and getting up with you guys in person. Yep. We appreciate you coming on here and telling everyone your story. Hopefully everyone gets to know a little bit more about you, and we look forward to seeing your tournament at Lake Murray, because that lake is a beast. Gentlemen, you guys got anything?
I'm good, man.
All right.
Appreciate your time, Cole.
Yeah, Cole, stay on for us. We're going to close this show out, and appreciate you jumping on here and helping us continue to grow a culture of anglers, helping anglers one cast at a time.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.